Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by telling you something simple, but not always obvious. Everything valuable is hidden. If opportunity walked around with a flashing sign, everyone would be wealthy, happy, and fulfilled. But here's the catch: it doesn't. Opportunity hides, it tucks itself behind effort, it masks itself behind discipline, it waits quietly behind problems, and sometimes it's disguised as a secret. Now, I don't mean mystery novels or conspiracy theories. I mean the kind of secrets that live in principles, strategies, perspectives, the kind of secrets successful people don't shout about, but build their lives around. You see, life rewards the seeker, the man or woman who leans in, listens closer, digs deeper. Not the one who waits to be spoon-fed answers, but the one who learns to read between the lines, who sees what others miss. That's the kind of person who turns secrets into opportunities. Here's something I learned early. The secret of success is that there is no one big secret, but there are many small secrets, quiet truths that add up. The secret of saving, the secret of reading daily, the secret of showing up early, the secret of staying late, the secret of listening more than speaking. Little things, but oh, how they compound. And you know what else? Most people walk right past them. They want the loud and flashy. They want the shortcut. They don't realize that opportunity often enters through the back door. And that door is usually locked until you find the key. So here's my advice: learn to listen with intention, pay attention with hunger, study the patterns, study the people, study the past. The secret to financial freedom. It's in a book someone already wrote. The secret to strong relationships. It's in a conversation someone's too distracted to have. The secret to a meaningful life. It's hiding behind service, in discipline, in purpose. Not on a screen, not in a trend. Friends, the world won't hand you a treasure map, but it will give you clues if you're alert. Let me say it plain: secrets are not obstacles. They're invitations to grow, to rise, to lead, to become. Every secret you uncover gives you an edge, an advantage that most people never notice, much less use. And once you find that hidden door, that buried truth, that quiet principle, walk through it, apply it. Live it. That's how you turn a secret into success. Opportunity hides in the unseen, and the unsaid is more than a phrase. It's a lens through which successful individuals view the world. Most people wait for opportunity to shout, but it rarely does. Opportunity tends to whisper. It operates in quiet corners, behind overlooked details, in the subtleties of life. It's not where the spotlight shines, it's where the shadows fall. To understand this principle is to change your relationship with how you observe, think, and act in everyday situations. In life, what's obvious is usually already taken. The common path is crowded. Everyone sees the surface, but the deeper levels, that's where the gold is buried. Those who learn to tune their senses to what's not immediately visible or spoken gain a powerful edge. They become listeners of silence, seekers of hidden meaning, and masters of recognizing what others overlook. That's where opportunity lives. Not in the noise, but in the stillness. Not in the headline, but in the footnote. We're trained by society to pay attention to announcements, to wait for things to be presented clearly and directly. But opportunity rarely presents itself that way. In fact, when something becomes too obvious, it usually means it's already been exploited. The best chances often lie beneath the surface, behind a problem, within a pause in a conversation, in the questions that were never asked, and in the actions others avoided because they didn't notice the value. People miss opportunities not because they're not smart, but because they're not tuned in. They haven't developed the habit of thinking behind the scenes. They listen to what's said, but they don't pay attention to what's left out. They see what's in front of them, but miss what's hiding in plain sight. The entrepreneur sees a system breaking down and thinks, what solution isn't being offered yet? The investor listens to a company earnings call and pays close attention to what wasn't mentioned. The leader walks into a room and senses the mood no one is articulating. These insights don't come from guesswork. They come from trained observation, from being alert to the hidden layers. In the world of business, the greatest innovations came from those who saw what others missed. A company like Airbnb didn't invent traveling or staying in homes. They saw that people had spare rooms and others needed affordable stays. Uber didn't invent cars or phones. It saw the inefficiency of standing on a curb waiting for a taxi. The opportunities were always there, hiding in plain sight, unsaid and unseen. It took someone with a different set of eyes to recognize them. In personal life, the principle is just as powerful. Some of the best relationships form not through what's said out loud, but through what's felt. The act of empathy is reading the unsaid. When someone is hurting, they may not say it. When someone needs support, they may not ask, but the one who notices, the one who responds to the unspoken, is the one who changes lives and builds trust. In friendship, in love, in family, the richest connections often develop through this hidden channel of perception. The same truth applies to self, growth. Often, the biggest breakthroughs in your personal life aren't announced. They come in moments of quiet, a small whisper of intuition, a gut feeling that something needs to change, a habit that doesn't feel right anymore. These are unsaid signals your life is sending you, but if you're too distracted, you'll miss them. Growth happens when you stop waiting for dramatic signs and start responding to the subtle shifts. Developing the ability to see and hear opportunity in the unseen and unsaid starts with awareness. It means slowing down, asking deeper questions, observing patterns, and noticing what others ignore. Sometimes it means doing the thing no one is doing, not because it's popular, but because it's right. Sometimes it means asking yourself, what's not being talked about? Or what's missing from this picture? Or even, what problem are people pretending doesn't exist? These questions can lead you to powerful places. When a market is oversaturated with one idea, what's the counter idea? When everyone is talking about what they want, what are they afraid to admit? When everyone rushes toward one direction, what's being left behind that still holds value? These are the kinds of thoughts that separate the average from the exceptional, because the extraordinary is usually hiding in the ordinary, disguised as nothing special. Many people are waiting for their big break, for a door to swing open with a clear label that says opportunity. But life doesn't usually operate on labeled doors. It offers clues. It gives hints. It asks, are you paying attention? A challenge at work might look like frustration on the surface, but underneath, it could be your opportunity to lead. A friend who withdraws might seem distant, but underneath, they might be waiting for someone to reach out. A financial setback might feel like failure, but it could be the moment that forces you to rethink your values and start again, stronger and smarter. Life hides lessons and gifts inside discomfort and silence. But if you're only looking for loud signals and easy answers, you'll miss the invitation. You'll miss the subtle nudge. You'll miss the quiet door that could have led to everything. The power to see opportunity in the unseen and unsaid is not some mystical gift. It's a habit of attention, a discipline of listening, a decision to look a little closer, dig a little deeper, and not accept the surface as the whole story. Because beneath the surface, everywhere is potential waiting to be discovered. The truth is, opportunity doesn't always show up wearing a badge or with a trumpet blast. It often arrives in disguise. And those who train their eyes and ears to perceive beyond the obvious, those are the ones who catch it. While others sleep through life with their senses dulled, the sharp-minded are awake, alert, and ready. The world is constantly offering more than it reveals. Success belongs to those who learn how to see it. Every hidden truth holds unlockable value. That idea may sound simple, but it carries enormous weight when truly understood. The world is layered with truths, some open and clear, others buried deep beneath surface appearances. Most people live on the surface. They react to what they see, what they hear, and what they're told. But those who take the time to search deeper, to think critically, to ask questions others avoid, those are the ones who uncover value where others see nothing. Hidden truths are not lies. They are facts, principles, insights, and realities that are concealed by complexity, fear, ignorance, or distraction. They are truths waiting to be discovered, and when they carry the potential to change everything. Hidden truths are not rare, they are everywhere. They live inside of people, buried under years of self, doubt, and fear. They live inside systems, behind what looks broken or inefficient. They live inside history, in patterns that are forgotten but still operate today. They are tucked away in conversations not yet had, in books not yet read, in experiences not yet understood. Most people never access this value because they either stopped looking or were never trained to look in the first place. But those who do become people of wisdom, strategy, and influence. Why? Because they see what others don't and know what others overlook. Value comes from understanding, and understanding often comes from depth. Take a great leader. What sets them apart is not what they say, but what they see. They understand people not just on the surface, but what drives them deep down. They notice unspoken tension, subtle cues, unexpressed needs. And because they perceive the hidden truth, they unlock value in their team. They draw out potential that others miss. They inspire growth not with noise, but with insight. That's the power of seeing the hidden. In business, the most successful innovations often come from uncovering a hidden truth about customer behavior, market needs, or overlooked problems. They don't come from copying trends. They come from asking better questions. What do people really need but don't know how to ask for? What frustration are people tolerating because they don't know there's another way? The person who answers these questions taps into a source of value most didn't even know existed. And when that value is unlocked, it looks obvious in hindsight. That's the thing about hidden truths. They are invisible until someone points them out, and then they seem like they were always there. This same principle applies to your personal life. Often, the truth you need to hear is the one you've been avoiding. Maybe the reason you're not growing isn't lack of motivation, but fear of facing something real, something within. Maybe you've been chasing the wrong goals, measuring with the wrong ruler, comparing yourself to someone who isn't even living the life you want. And the real truth, the one that could set you free, is hidden beneath your assumptions. Unlocking that truth might hurt for a moment, but it brings healing, clarity, and direction. That's value. That's progress. Sometimes the truth is hidden because it's inconvenient. It challenges the way we've always done things. It questions the systems we were taught to trust. It invites us to change, and change is uncomfortable. But the more uncomfortable the truth, the more value it likely holds, because the truth that can change you the most is usually the one you resist the most. And once you face it, once you wrestle with it, you find a key that opens doors you didn't even know were locked. Think about relationships. The strongest bonds are built on trust, and trust is built on truth. Not just the spoken truth, but the felt truth. The truth people are afraid to voice. When two people are honest about what they feel, what they fear, what they want, that's when connection becomes real. But it takes courage to go there. It takes effort to look beneath the polite words and ask, what's really going on here? What's not being said? That's where the value is. It's in the depth. It's in the hidden places. Hidden truth is also what turns experience into wisdom. Life will teach you, but only if you're paying attention. Not every painful event comes with a clear lesson written on it. Often the truth is buried in reflection. You have to think back and ask, what was that really about? Why did that happen? What part did I play? What could I learn if I stopped blaming and started asking? That's how you extract value from your past instead of being trapped by it. That's how you grow. The key word is unlockable. Hidden truth is not meant to stay hidden. It's meant to be discovered. It's waiting for the person who's willing to dig, the person who's willing to sit with discomfort, the person who's curious enough to ask why one more time. Unlocking truth doesn't always give you what you want immediately, but it gives you what you need deeply. And from that foundation, all the good things can grow: clarity, strength, direction, freedom, impact. What's powerful is that once you unlock one hidden truth, it trains your eyes to look for more. It becomes a habit. You start listening differently, observing more sharply, reading between the lines, thinking critically, sensing when something doesn't add up. You stop living on autopilot. You stop taking things at face value. You become someone who navigates life with depth and wisdom. That's rare. That's valuable. Unlocking value from hidden truth requires patience. It won't always come quickly. Sometimes you'll sit with a question for weeks, even months, before the answer rises. But when it does, you'll know it's real. It will feel like something clicked. It will bring peace. It will bring power. That's the reward for those who wait, who wrestle, who search. There are hidden truths inside you, about your purpose, your pain, your power. There are hidden truths in the people around you, in the systems you live in the world you move through. Don't assume you know everything. Stay humble, stay curious. The moment you think you've seen it all is the moment you stop seeing anything new. But the moment you choose to look again, to question deeper, to ask, what's really going on here? That's the moment your life begins to shift. Every hidden truth holds unlockable value, not some, not a few, every single one. Your job is to become a seeker, a student of life, a watcher of details, a listener to what others ignore. Because the person who learns to uncover hidden truth is the person who never runs out of opportunity, because they never run out of insight. And insight, when applied, becomes transformation. That's the real reward. That's the hidden gold.